All right. Hey, Scotty, what's going on? How's it going, sir? Welcome. Big sigh. Well, that just messed everything up. Welcome to the Saturday build stream, where we're going to be doing a rebuild of a computer that was already built. This is going to be Edgars' rebuild. Edgar is a customer that came to us locally, brought his PC to us that was having some issues, and then we made some recommendations, and one thing led to another, and now we have this massive case, and he just wanted to rebuild it. So here we are rebuilding his PC live today. Your stream keeps ending and then going live over and over again. I'm getting those notifications like crazy. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me look. Is it on Kick? Is it Kick that's doing that? Says maybe my bitrate is too high. I don't know if that's something I can change on the fly. Yeah, I can't. I have to end the stream if I want to change that. Is it still doing it? It makes no sense as to why that happened. Or why that's happening. The only thing I did change was maybe the bit rate. It is showing, yeah. That's interesting. Maybe we're having some internet issues. All right, hold on. Let's see if we're back. I actually just killed Kick. I just shut Kick off, because if that's happening, obviously we don't want it sitting there starting and stopping and restarting on you guys and sending out those notifications. I don't know why it's doing that. It makes no sense. Shouldn't be doing that. It should not be doing that. So yeah, it was crazy. Notice. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. That has happened to me before. One of my followers, actually, that I was following, I think it was actually Weird Duck, or Weirder Duck. I got like 50 notifications from him saying that he went live on Kick, so it does look like it might be a Kick bug or something. I don't know, that's kind of weird. It's fine, Ben, not your fault. It's just, I just flooded everybody's mailboxes with I don't know how many notifications. Hopefully they got the message that I went live. But I'm no longer live on Kick anymore. I just shut it off. I shut Kick off. Don't know what else to do there. I guess we're not streaming to Kick today. And we'll test that out and play around with it. It was at least 30 or more. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Hey, did you get the message? I went live. I have no idea why it's doing that. I'll have to screw around with it later. Okay, so in the meantime, we are building Edgar's PC. Edgar, as I was saying before, is a local customer who brought his PC to us with some issues, and one thing led to another. Now we're basically just rebuilding his PC using some of the core components from his previous build, but he wants something that just looks really nice and is going to fit in the case, because one of the main problems is that the RTX 4090 that he did have wasn't fitting in the case right, and it was actually causing that 600 watt cable issue, creating issues with the graphics card where it would just go into a black screen or blue screen, and it was pointing back to the graphics card being the problem. So we're pretty sure it was the card, and then I'm pretty sure it was because the cable was being smashed by the glass, because there just wasn't enough space for the cable, the 600 watt 16 pin cable coming off the card. So we went with, or he wanted to go with the biggest possible case we can go with, and he wanted the dual glass coming out of a Corsair, I think it was a 4000 or 5000D case. So we are going into a much larger case, and we're also upgrading his cooler from a 360 millimeter to a 420 millimeter AIO, and then we're putting all the same fans in, which are Lian Li Infinity fans. Hey, that's what I have. Yeah. So it's going to be the EVO XL case that we're going to be building in. The core parts that he already has is a i9-12900KS on a ROG Strix. I think this is the 690 Hero Maximus. So it's a super awesome board, super expensive board. And then we also upgraded the RAM, because the RAM that he had was Corsair, and he wanted to, he didn't like it. So we moved over to the Trident Z, I believe, G-Skill, which is, I think we went with 64 gigs, and we got some really good timings, and I think it was 6,000 megahertz total. So really good speed on the RAM, really good speed on the CPU, great graphics card, and now we have the case, large enough case to house all this. And we're going with 140 millimeter fans all the way around except for the rear fan. So some insane airflow is going to be in this case. It's just going to be insane. We also have an internal screen that we're going to be throwing into the case as well, to add to the flavor. So it's going to be super cool when it's done. It is going to take quite some time to put this build together. Oh wait, the D is smaller than the X, isn't it? The 5000X, the D, wait, what? Oh, no. The D, I think the D is smaller. Yeah. Hey, look. You like what I did with the place? I'm just kidding. It's just a picture. All right, so we're going to move on to the top-down view, and we're going to get started, because this is going to be a long build. In fact, I'm going to go grab a Coke before we get started, but this is the motherboard and CPU. We do have a contact frame and everything for this. I have all the parts actually behind me, because there's just so many parts for this build. I wasn't even going to move it here on the build table to get started, so just 1 second. Okay, let's get started. So how are you doing, Scotty? Sorry about the 1 million notifications I sent you. I just, wanted to make sure you knew I was live, right? I actually wish these were labeled. AMD. Gotta be this for Intel. Every time I do this cooler, I have to look this up. I wish they would simplify this by Arctic. This is a 420 millimeter cooler by Arctic. This is the mounting hardware I'm going to take care of really quick. Actually, let's do the contact frame first. I'm doing good, man. How am I doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm tired. I'm actually really tired today. There's just so much work involved with running a business. And it can be utterly exhausting. And at times you look at the bank and you're like, man, is it really worth all this? Then I remind myself about all the people that I get to meet and all that, so that's honestly what makes it worth it. The people. But part of me says, you know, I should just go back to a day job, a 9-to-5 job, and call it a day. Easier that way. I don't know if that's actually going to be a thing or not, but I'm really hoping this year, this holiday, we do really good, because that's basically going to say whether or not this is going to work. I better not, lol. I mean, I'll always build PCs. It's just I would be taking the foot off the gas pedal. Just one of the, you know, it's just leading into the winter depression, I guess. Depression starts to set in. So we're coming out of like the really dry season, because PC building is pretty seasonal. It's usually always really dry through the summer, and then once we start getting into the winter, closer to the holidays, it gets super insanely busy, where I will have builds pretty much every single day, multiple builds even. But for the most part, this year it's been pretty light. It's been okay, but would have liked to have more. More would have made it better. And I don't know what I'm doing to get more, or what I have to do to get more anyway. These are the screws we'll use to... Okay. Pretty sure. There. Am I missing something here? Oh, there. Happy build day. Thank you. It's Saturday, so let's build. You better not. How you doing, Army? How's it going over there, sir? Wait, this little pin is not fitting right. There we go. As soon as I was going to be like, hey, look at this piece of crap that doesn't work, it works. Okay, so this is the bracket we're going to be using for the LGA 1700. We got our CPU contact frame already set. Let me just put some really nice fingerprints there on the high gloss part. Why not? Okay, we got small and big. They all the same freaking size. This is the part where I'm confused about LGA 1700 and 1150 or 115X. Is which of these do I use? And Arctic does not do a very good job of defining that unless you go watch one of their videos. And I could never remember for the life of me. Not doing too bad. Great Michigan game today. Yeah. Got a couple of picks for the Eclipse from the UP. Oh, nice. Actually, if you don't mind sending those or sharing them somewhere, my wife actually might be interested in taking a look at those. Mrs. Empower would be interested. Sure, do you have a Discord? Yes, I do. Is it not listed there on the Twitch? My Discord is Empower Gaming Computers, all one word. It's super cloudy here, so I wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. Oh, yeah. It was kind of cloudy here, too. It's been kind of rainy and crummy outside all day. Okay, so it is the bigger standoffs. I was pretty sure of that. Again, always have to confirm. These ones we're not using. Throw those back in here. Send them back to the abyss. I don't think I have that set up. And I'm using Restream, so any of my Streamlabs stuff isn't going to go back to Twitch. I don't think. Maybe it will. I actually haven't tested that since I started using Restream. But my Discord is Empower Gaming Computers. All one word is what it should be. Here, I can drop it in the chat here in just a second. I think that worked. It should have sent, I guess my actual username is painkiller0 or 1011, and then I sent also the channel if you wanted to drop into the channel ever. So that should be it. Did you guys get that or no? They should have sent. You sent them to the Facebook chat. Awesome. I can also look there. Cool. Well, we've got the contact plate installed. He already has an SSD here, though we might have to take this spray or this heat spreader off in order to mount the motherboard, which I already know we will have to do this. This is one thing that I hated about this board, all the times that I've worked with it anyway. You have to take the spreader off in order to install the board. I'll just take that off because you don't have access to that mounting hole right there unless you remove it. Okay. I was browsing your website and gave the option to chat, so dropped it there and joined the Discord. Nice. That works. So this RAM is DDR5 by Hill. It's the Trident Z5, and it's Intel XMP ready, but its timings are, I believe it was 6,000 megahertz with CL30 timings at 1.4 volts. So really good timing on the RAM. Use the Eclipse glass to cover the camera on the S22 Ultra. Nice! Yeah, because you're looking right at it. Doesn't that break things? I would normally break stuff. All right, so we got the motherboard ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the case out, actually. I've already taken the case apart because I wanted to get a little bit more familiar with the case. But this thing is massive. I don't even think it's gonna fit in the frame here. I guess it fits. If it fits, it ships. But there it is. This is the 11 EVO XL. One of the larger cases made by Lian Li. It's got so many different customizations as well. There's a lot of different things you can do to this this case. You can flip it vertically. You can install the card here vertically. You can go vertical with your graphics card. What else? There's so many different things you can do with this. So it's very customizable if you ever wanted to change the, I guess, the default orientation of the PC. The O11 is kind of the ideal case for that. Yeah, it could. April 4th is going to be 80% coverage for the next solar eclipse. Oh, wow. April 4th. Why so soon? If we just had one. I don't understand. I guess I don't understand that well enough. It's just the way it worked out. Okay. Yeah, I thought everything's kind of like in a schedule out there, though. Things don't just randomly change. At least that's what I thought. The last one was in 2017. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, is that it's like, I thought it was like every few years this happens. It's not something that happens on a regular basis. Does that mean we are rotating faster? Orbiting, I guess, the sun faster? Or is the moon orbiting the Earth faster? Or what's happening here? That would be the question I'd ask. The eclipse is when the moon crosses over where the sun is. Perfectly, right? That's what the eclipse is. So, if it only happens to line up perfectly in for so many years, it's just weird that it's all of a sudden doing it twice within, you know, the last 12 months. That's lunar. What? Why are you whooping? What's the deal? You just need to voice your opinion on it too? Okay. Mr. Max over here decided to give us a good shout. Now he looks embarrassed. Never mind, I'm wrong, lol. Yeah, I don't understand it well. I mean, I do love everything about space and venturing out there and learning more about it. Not ideal to go out there without proper equipment, though, obviously. I think it's badass that Elon Musk is pushing hard to kind of expand that area of our knowledge and experience. Ours being the human race. I think that's important for us to continue. I think it's really cool. Have you ever tried to catch any of the Starlight orbiting satellites with your camera yet? That'd be another cool one to catch, because they go around and they fly across the sky pretty quickly, but that would be another interesting one to catch on a camera. A whole bunch of people that don't know exactly what it is even think they're UFOs. I love space and science, so do I. Definitely one of my favorite things to learn about. Okay, so we've got our motherboard installed into our massive case. I'm gonna wipe my fingerprints away here and some dust that was left over from when it was in the previous build, because this was used, but it's still a really good motherboard. No reason to replace that. We're reusing the same CPU and motherboard from the build, the SSDs, but we did upgrade the RAM, and we did upgrade the cooler, the fans, the case, and we also got a different graphics card. So there's quite a bit of work here, and also a different power supply. And then we threw in the Lian Li streamers, because we're just making this thing look as badass as possible. And then we'll also have a screen that will display specifics such as the temperature of the system and just statistics of the PC, which is really cool. And that's actually a formula mod that you can purchase over on Amazon. It's a screen, it's a kit. Really cool. You've got some moon pics and catching the Starlink trains. Oh, nice. Yeah, we've seen them go by a couple times. We get, I think my wife has a app that tells her when they're going by, and then we all just run outside and look, and there they go, and they're gone. You know, it would be really cool if Elon Musk in the front of that train is actually his car that he shot up there. That would be pretty cool. The front of the train is one of his Teslas. Because why not? Leading the way. Okay, so next thing we're going to work on is getting our cooler installed, but before I do that, I want to get our EPS cables and some of our other stuff here plugged in. So we're going to need the power supply. I guess they have enough up there now that they opened all orders for Starlink. Oh, nice. Super cool what he's doing. I mean, the ability to, to make that all work, just the ability and the time and the efforts is insane to even think about. But now you can have literally internet at a pretty reasonable speed anywhere on the globe, right? Which is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy if you ask me, because that's not something we even thought of being a thing for a long time. If you didn't have a provider nearby, for example, you were screwed. You could literally go live out in the boondocks and have a connection back to... He even sent equipment to Ukraine after that started. Yeah, I know he did. He was like, here's internet. Have internet. Oh no. No, this one's on me. Are we sure that wasn't like just a business opportunity for him? Like, oh, I have all these new clientele. I'm joking. My hometown is just now getting high-speed internet. Yeah, I know. I grew up in a town where it was just dial-up. We didn't have anything called high-speed internet. It was all dial-up. And that was the way it was until I moved out into the city. And that's when I finally got a taste of real cable. Actually, it was DSL, which was nice, but as things got bigger, you needed faster internet. We're gonna have to flip this around and figure out how to get these in here, because I have no idea. Come on, you behemoth. Yeah. Nice. Just what we wanted to see. A hard drive cage. Right there. That's kind of a strange spot for it, but okay. So I think we're actually going to have to remove this cage in order to gain access. Okay. Oh. Now that's nifty. I found the hinges. It just lifts up. Yes, I am. I had to take typewriting classes in high school. God, you're old. We bought Twitter to run it into the ground for a tax write-off. Yeah. I mean, you got all that money, what else are you going to do with it? What else would you do? Right? You need to write it off somewhere. I don't think he's running it into the ground, technically. Not yet, anyway. I think Twitter's still very widely used. But Twitter, or X, or what you want to call it now. I just think some of the stuff he does is exciting. I don't know about the Twitter stuff. I think that was him just waving his big wee-wee around and saying, look what I can do. If I want to buy Twitter, I could just go out and buy Twitter. More of a flex on, it's just more of a flex than anything. Alright, got our EPS cables installed there very nicely. I'm not sure if y'all can see that or not. There they are. Yeah. Nice and clean. You're 47 over there. Holy smokes. Okay, I'm like, I feel like I'm in my 80s right now, but I'm not. I don't know what 80 feels like. But I don't want to know, because my 30s... what my 30s feel like right now, I don't even want to know what my 40s are going to feel like. Or my 80s, for that matter. Okay, so we're going to stand this behemoth up. And we're going to get the radiator set. And then we're going to mount that bad boy. We're going in like that. Cables need to face this way. This is a 420 millimeter AIO liquid cooler. Another behemoth part. Oh, I hear you there. I'm 100% firm and totally disabled through the VA from my service-connected injuries. With old age factor, I feel like I'm 80. Yeah. Well, I did the mistake of I didn't have any like major injuries outside of my knees while playing football like an idiot. I'm a heavy set guy, and running was not made for my body, and I have destroyed my knees ultimately. What happened. But so my knees are just, anything I do with my knees, it's just so much pain. And I also did physical labor when I was young too. I was a strong, strapping lad. I also picked up a car off my buddy's leg. That he was underneath the car, removing the rotor, and they had it on a scissor jack like an idiot. I actually had just gotten there and was like, hey, you guys are doing stupid shit with your legs under the car with only a scissor jack. We even talked about it for like 5 minutes, and they all said it was going to be fine. Well, while yanking on the rotor, the car fell off the jack, or rolled off the jack, and it landed on his leg. He couldn't get his legs out in time. So I lifted a sedan off my friend's leg by myself, because there was no other jack or anything to grab immediately. That's one of the crazy stories. And for that, I'm sure I damaged something in my back, or I probably even had a hernia of some sort back then. that I wasn't even aware of when I was young. But that's, you know, I was a strong guy. But I'm not nearly as strong as I used to be now. And it sucks. Always use a jack stand, yes. Always use a jack stand. Jack stands aren't even always the safest. You should always treat the situation as if the jack stand is not going to support it. That's always been my theory with going underneath cars. Especially when the tires are off and it's literally, it's going to just go straight to the ground. Always treat that thing with respect. That was, you know, back in my young days when I could do stupid shit like that. Now I can't. I can't do any of that. If I tried to lift a car now, I'd probably poop my pants. I'm stubborn enough not to give up on it. And dumb enough to try it. Young and dumb and full of energy. I used to be. Now I'm a little bit wiser about things, like, instead of running out and buying this, I'm gonna order it online and wait for it to get here. Saves me gas and my time. Oh, you mean I have to mow the lawn? Let's hire a service for that now. Well, it's just more of a time thing than energy. I don't have the time to mow my lawn anymore. So I either need to get my kid doing it, which I tried this year, but he kind of gave up on me after 2 cuts. Or I gotta hire a service. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. I don't mind mowing the lawn, it's easy. Cutting the grass, I enjoy it. More of a mental thing for me. Peaceful. Stay busy. It's still something I could physically do without feeling pain in my knees. Okay, so we got all these fans unpackaged. We peeled all the peels off, which is really helping us move along here. Set these aside. We're going to install the 4 fans that came with the cooler back onto the other side. We are going to use a couple of screws here. Actually, before I tighten it, put on this cable. Where'd they go? I'm going to be plugging this all into a hub. Right? Or do we use this one for this one? No, we should do this. We should do this. I'm going to start arguing with myself. Use the force pen. That's what I need to do. I need to learn the force, and then we'll be golden. Right? Well, that sucks. It's gonna have to go this way and point that way. Nice. Young and dumb and full of dumb things. You know that app, Dumb Ways to Die? Fun little game that you can get on the Google Store that my kids like to play, strangely enough. But it's Dumb Ways to Die. There's a song that gets stuck in my head anytime I think of anything stupid I'm doing when I'm young. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. And it's actually very true if you think about it, though, because there's so many different ways So many dumb ways to die. Right? Let that one sink in. Yeah. I'll make this so I can this. Okay, so this thing is going this direction. We want them to intake, right? Put them in, right? Right? Yes. They're all going to face that way. Beautiful. Now we need the bracket up here. Just removing 2 screws to get the bracket off the top here, which is where we're going to mount this massive 420mm AIO. Yes. I know you probably can't see everything I'm doing at the moment, but I'm just adding the 2 screws here to get this thing lined up and started. I have to have it kind of hanging off the table here, the bench, while I start it. One screw, I don't know. Of course. Your job is not done. Alright, so we have a massive radiator fan sandwich. Maybe I should actually tighten the screws so they don't fall off. I left them loose as I was lining up the rest of it. Might be a good idea to tighten them up. Alright, here's our massive radiator fan sandwich. Got fans on both sides. We call this a push-pull configuration. Also might be a good idea to plug these in before I put it back there. But it wants to actually argue with me about plug back in. Stop arguing with me and just work, would you? Bad PWM connection, bad. Here we go. Now it can go in. So, I'm just gonna lower it in like a engine would be lowered into a car. Trying to not get these cables stuck, and they're stuck. Oh, nice. I actually really can't see it here. Get all in. That's what I tested. Okay, now. Nice. Pull those through. Go. We're gonna have to figure that out. How do we get the EPS cables in here without being in here? Just gotta pull them through. They're out of the way. Okay, now what? Now what are we stuck on? Holy shit, is it tight fit? Don't feel like it should have been this tight. Oh, fit. Go. Maybe? No? Why? my EPS cables again getting in the way? Yeah, kind of. Maybe not. Fuck. What is sticking in the way? Probably this PWM connection from this fan. That one, we got that one. I can't feel this one because... yeah, that's got to be what it is. That's what it is. We gotta spin this around and I gotta stick my hole in this weird place and try to fish this out. Getting jammed up here. Can we just drop into place yet or no? Yeah. Hitting our limit? What's going on? So this might not work as exactly as I planned for it to. This is what I'm finding out here. What are we running into over here? Stupid. It should fit. How much bigger of a case do we need to make this shit work? It's actually the EPS cable that are in the way. Well, that sucks. I guess we can't do the 3 fans on the top. It's not gonna work. It just won't fit. Even though I'm pretty sure I measured all this and it looked like it was gonna fit just fine. It's just not going to fit. And what's happening is we're running into these EPS cables here at the top, which is fine. Because usually you can pull them out of the way like that and just kind of go around. But in this situation, it refuses to do that. It's just running into the clips where the motherboard is now in the way. So, fits like a glove. Must be OJ's glove. Now that's calling your age out. But we're just going to remove these top fans and call it a day. The hell with it. Not what I wanted to do, but it's not fitting right. And I'm not sitting here trying to force it in. It's mostly because of these EPS cables and their clips that are in the way. But I would have figured Lian Li would have provided enough space here for push-pull on a radiator at the top of this case, especially with it being called XL. The case is literally called XL for extra large. Now I could actually do this exact design and setup in their smaller case. No problem. So much for it being XL. More like XL-ish. You know, kind of like maybe a little. I don't know, I'm probably going over the top on that, but maybe it's the fans and the thickness and these Lian Li, but it's a Lian Li product in a Lian Li product. Shouldn't it fit? You'd think. You'd think it would fit, you know, because it's a Lian Li product inside a Lian Li product. I guess the only other thing I could have done is moved it. Let me throw this back in here and test. I told you guys this build's going to take a while. There's a lot of unknown adventures we're going to be running through here with this case. Not your standard 011. You know, I've done 100 of those. Alright, so I'm going to put these 4 screws in. I'm going to slide it all the way forward, and then we're going to look to see if it's going to clear it or not. Doubtful, but I think that's all I would have had to do here. Make this fit. Not clear the EPS cables. Still be the same situation, so stay in here. And it also has to slide back. So that's it. Here's what it is. Moving on. Okay, we got that installed. There isn't really much room there. It's kind of weird. I would have expected or anticipated this case to have a little bit more room up there to work with the bigger cooler. So strange that it did not have the extra space that I was anticipating. Whereas its smaller brother, does have the space. Although it would be a smaller cooler technically. Pulling that cable through. Getting it out of the way there. Okay, so there's our AIO. Our radiator. Installed. Nice and fancy. Now we gotta get our pump installed to our CPU here. This is a very interesting design by Arctic. Always is. Always is. All right, I don't know which one's this one. Which one is the pump and which one is not? Pump is the third one. This guy. Hey Fridge, thanks for the follow over there. Hey Senior Smackdown, good evening. What is this case? This is the Lian Li Behemoth, but it's the Lian Li O11 XL EVO XL. So it's the EVO. It's a new case that has, that's actually my first time building in it, so I'm kind of learning a little bit as I go and kind of digesting it slowly. But it's a massive behemoth case where you could put a 420 millimeter at the top, which I love about the case, or 420 millimeter radiator for that matter. And I think there's a couple other different sizes you could fit up there. One thing we learned is that the thickness of the Arctic cooler freezer, liquid freezer 2, is too thick to have a push-pull configuration. So the radiator's too thick. By the way, this is the guy who was looking for the Corsair fans. Oh, nice. You might have them soon. I just got to finish this build. I'm rebuilding. Hey, Senior Smackdown. What's going on, man? So we just finished putting the AIO in. I am going to now start tackling all the Lian Li 140 millimeter fans that we have here. Build looks great, thank you. Which, you know, we have a ton of these fans to put in. We've got 6 more. And then we have a 120 millimeter for the rear that we're going to put in up here. So we got 3 140s on the side, 3 140s on the bottom, and then 120 on the rear. The side and the bottom are all going to be intake to give that nice airflow, push that airflow in, you know. The 140 side and bottom. Let's start with the bottom. Massive beast. This is one of the larger cases I've worked with outside of the 011 Dynamic XL, the original XL. This is probably some of the larger cases I've worked with. The 7000D is also pretty large. It's another one that takes a lot of grunting to move around. It's unfortunate because these 140 millimeter fans don't come in like a 3-pack, and so you're stuck buying individual 140 millimeter fans. Therefore, you know, you don't also get the hub. You get the little addressable RGB connector, which kind of sucks. So you have to buy the hub separately, which I guess is Lian Li's way of making more money. that portion of it sucks, but these fans are well worth the money. The addressable RGB is absolutely stunning when it's done. And there's really no other fans out there that can match the RGB looks. Maybe Corsair. Corsair gives it a good solid, you know, old college try. But unless you're buying the new Corsair stuff, the old Corsair stuff has 5,000 connections coming off of it, so it makes it extremely difficult and overwhelming to put any Corsair build together. Just because of how many, you usually have like 2 cables coming off of each fan minimum, sometimes even more in a Corsair build, and it's just absolutely ridiculous how many cables come off of a fan. And then also there's a limit on how many you can put in a node on their commander, although it is pretty high. It's a pretty high limit, but I guess I should stop talking about that. It's not a big problem. But anyway, it's just... Lian Li made this design before Corsair to simplify it, and now everybody's following because it just makes sense to do this. This chain. Look at how easy that is. Now there's only going to be one cable coming off all 3 of these fans to connect it to a hub, which is going to make it so much cleaner. Simplifies it, which I love about these fans. Trying to match the radiator position here. Oh, da 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 da. Dumb wasted. Yeah. Now it's stuck in my head. Thanks, Army Pet. Super clean. Whew. Where are we at now? We're already an hour in. Yeah, I knew this build was gonna take some time. But wow, that's a lot of time. Usually a standard 011 dynamic build, you're pretty close to being finished by now. Oh, that's cool. Little door. Hinged? No? That's cool. This bracket should come out. Usually it's a spring release. It looks like we have a screw maybe holding it in. Yep. So that bracket comes out, so we can install the fans easily. That goes like that. We want the fans. That's bottom. Oh, yeah. More fans. We all love fans. Okay, going to run. Have a good rest of your build. Thank you, Army Vet. Thank you for stopping in and hanging out for the little bit you did. I learned something today. Thanks to you. Actually, I learned a couple things thanks to you today. Have a good one, man. Have a good rest of your weekend. Always good to learn something new. If you don't learn something new in a day, then I feel like the day is not complete. Always down to learn something. I was today years old when I learned, well, number one, the eclipse. Didn't know, or at least didn't know a lot about it. Two, I learned how old I am. Three, I learned that there's another eclipse coming up April 4th. Surprised you didn't say April 1st. Because wouldn't that have been funny? Gotta peel all these peels off the fans, because there's, you know, on these Lian Li mirror finished fans, you gotta peel the peels, and then you gotta, I don't know, then somehow I end up touching every part of the mirror. Put fingerprints on them, then I have to wipe them down. Kind of silly. Like, maybe you should peel the peels afterwards. That's probably a good idea. But I don't do things ethically anymore. Probably a good idea. So we're going to be making these also intake. So we want them positioned here. This is the bottom. So when we go to put it in, our fans will be facing the right way. We have the right orientation for our fans. I'm going to push the fans all the way towards the bottom, though. This is the bottom, right? I'm questioning myself. Pretty sure it is. Yes. Because that's mostly what will be viewed on our end. But don't worry, guys, we have more fans to put in, too. Not done with the fans. Not even close. Well, we're pretty close. I guess there's only one more. Only one more to do. So if you're just here for the fans are not done yet. Almost. But everybody's here probably to see the RTX 4090, right? That's what you're really here for. Or are you just here to see it post, to see if I actually built a computer and it worked? But that would be questioning my abilities. Sometimes I question my abilities, though. It's okay. And because these fans are pretty daisy chained, you don't necessarily need to use all the screws in here. There's a lot of rubber on the fans that help with vibration as it is, and they're pretty tight. There's really no reason to use all the screws. Unless you're anal, which I'm not. This is fine. It will do perfect. Perfect job. I always try to put this in backwards. Okay. So this guy, we're gonna route right through this hole right here. And then we're gonna slide her into position and lock it in. And then put our screw in to lock the fans in so it doesn't accidentally pop out. Close our door so we don't accidentally bend it when we flip it over. There you go. More fans. If it posts, it'll be better than what I built last night. Oh, nice. I hope that wasn't bad. Do you source your parts from one place or just from where it's cheaper? So there's many different places I'll source parts from. It really depends on what part you're looking for is kind of what it comes down to. For example, these Lian Li fans are very difficult to find, so you can't really get them from Micro Center. You could sometimes get them from Newegg, but not really. And if you do, 9 times out of 10, they're like some Japanese company. Hey, Fins, what's up? Fins Hardware, what's going on? So there's just a limited place that you could really get these, and Amazon's honestly the only place you can order these fans and actually get them within a timely manner. So that's where I've been sourcing these fans, but most of my other hardware will come from a complete different mix of vendors. Some of them actually direct from the manufacturer as well. So I do have some access to some manufacturers to buy in bulk, such as Dark Flash, Montech / Vitro, whatever you want to call them. They have so many different names. Build is very nice. Oh, thank you, sir. We're still in progress. We just got done mounting the case fans, and we also got the AIO installed along with the motherboard. We did put the EPS cables in because we didn't really want to sit there and fight it with the AIO there. But we got a 120mm fan to put in here on the rear, and then we could start working on some of the other details. My motherboard was dead on delivery. Aw, dude, that sucks. So I have to RMA it and wait however long it's gonna take. So usually RMAs take which company did you get, or which? Gosh, Ben, talk. There's English. It's not very difficult. Which motherboard did you get? Let's start with that and the manufacturer. Was it like Asus, MSI? But let's go ahead and get started with 120. And it's okay, I have a hub. I have 2 hubs, but I think we're only going to need, with this build, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So we're just going to need 1 hub now, ironically. You got it from Newegg. It's Asus Tough Gaming. Okay, so Asus generally is pretty quick about getting it back to you. So if you send it in, they are going to ask you to obviously send the board first. I think they do have an RMA option where you could put collateral on their card, and that's just because they've had too many people not send the board back and then have 2 boards, and then they have no way of charging you, which sucks for them. So now they require you to pay for them to send you the replacement, and then you send the bad board back. They force you to pay or put it on your card, basically buying a second board temporarily to then have it refunded once they receive the bad board. The standard RMA is typically 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes longer, depending on if they're doing a repair on the board or just sending you a replacement. They won't know if they're doing the repair or sending a replacement until they look at it. So it's got to get processed, it's got to get, it's got to be shipped, it's got to be received, then it's got to be processed, then it's got to be looked at by tech / tested, confirm that the problem is a problem. And then from there, a decision has to be made on whether or not they're replacing or repairing. And most of the time they do try to repair. But they are pretty quick about it. So that's kind of the experience of what your board's going to go through in the next couple of weeks. But that sucks, man. I'm sorry. I've had that experience only once live on stream where, or no, twice. I've had twice where a computer didn't post live on stream and it ended up being a motherboard issue. So live on stream kind of sucks. You're like, I don't know what's going on. I was spot on. I was like, it's got to be a motherboard issue as we tried to troubleshoot it live on stream. So I've only had like one of those incidents. I'm gonna stand this up so I can get this drive tray out of the way, so I could feed this cable through that hole. Yes. Go on, get in there. There we go. Sorry, you're gonna look at my shoulder. It's a lovely shoulder. My wife says otherwise, but and then we'll lay it down again and get this thing screwed in. I think we're going to try to push this lower. Yeah, I think this is going to look good here. Very nice. Gives the air the chance to suck it in through the radiator. Thanks for your input. Sounds second time I've had a motherboard issue. Second time with Asus. That's not a good record, man. Asus is usually pretty good. I've had my fair share of bad parts from every manufacturer now, so pretty even. I've even had brand new CPUs out of the box dead, DOA, where they are just dead on arrival. Won't even post. Tried it in different boards. Same problem. Kind of pathetic. What does it feel like? But, I mean, it happens, so unfortunately. Did you buy it open box from Newegg or no? Because, I mean, that would have been the other option, to send it back to Newegg. They always came through with a replacement, so I still like them. I still have a PC I can use, but it sucks. Yeah, no, I hear you, man. It does suck, because you're excited for your new build. You're like, oh yeah, this is awesome. It's like Christmas. You get all the excitement shakes, and then you drink too much caffeine and sugar, and you put it all together, and you sweat, and you get frustrated when something doesn't work. Okay, if you're RMAing through Newegg, one, if it's an Intel board, which it is, it's a Z690, then it's, did you ship it with the plastic piece over the pins? This is going to be very important if you already sent it. If you didn't send it, and you don't have that plastic over the pins, you're going to want to definitely pull it back out of the box and put that plastic over the pins. That's number one with Intel boards when you are returning them. Manufacturers and vendors will decline them if they do not have the cover shield over it. Yes, I haven't shipped it yet, but it's boxed with the cover on it. Awesome. Because that'll just get returned back to you. And they will decline any repair or service or RMA. Because they're really picky about it. Two, was it a damaged pin by chance? Or what was wrong with it? You know? Pretty badass. Alright, so we've got USB-C, USB 3 here. Come out from that bottom top. Or we have USB-C here coming from the bottom here. We are going to be putting the card in a vertical position. So I've got a vertical universal bracket because I couldn't get the Lian Li one here quick enough. Cooler master, which is good. I like that one. But we got to get these connections plugged in before we can move on and get the card plugged in. And then we have Lian Li strimmers to deal with as well. I don't think we're going to plug any of these in, honestly. No reason to. We're not going to be using any SATA drives, right? We didn't have any SATA drives in there, did we? No SATA drives. It didn't look like it. It wouldn't post, and no debug lights, no beep codes. I tried with several known working CPUs and RAM GPUs. It took all night. I'm sorry, man. I've definitely been there before. I have been there before. We got two USB 3s, so I'm glad our motherboard has two USB 3.0s. Because honestly, that would have sucked. Hey, what's this for? So I'm going to stand this thing up. So. And get my head out of the way. We're going to put the USB-C through here. Feed that. Hey, I'm not done yet. Slam the door in my face. Come on. Rude. USB 3. USB 3. And then we have front panel power. Right? Yeah? And then HD audio. These hard drive bays are actually cool, but annoying. Especially if you're not going to be using them. Kind of get in your way. HD audio. And then we did have a... thought we had an addressable RGB connection here for the case. I know we do. Where'd it go? Aha! Found you, you little sneaky bastard. Now I don't know where to go with it, but hold on. I'll flip it back over and look. Bottom. We're going all the way down here. Downtown. And now we have getting in the way of our closure here. Interesting. Oh, no, I can't believe this is happening. Okay. Now we can flip it over and plug all our shit in. Alright, so starting from the top, we have our USB-C. And then we have our USB 3.0, which is for some reason twisted the wrong way. probably have to zip tie this a little bit. It's just going to come around nice and neat like that. And then another USB 3.0. Shove some of this extra cable length back in there. And then our front panel power, which is going to be our power button, reset, all that stuff. Lian Li makes it super simple with one simple connection that goes bloop, done. Then we have an addressable RGB header here that we're going to plug in. We should actually look at the hub because I think there's one that comes off of that as well for motherboard sync option on the L Connect 3. HD audio. You got any good case recommendations, maybe under $100, that could fit a 360mm AIO? I would rather not mount it to the front as intake. Yeah, don't do that. Not a fan of that anymore. I always put my AIOs on the top of the case. But an inexpensive case is going to be, if you're going on a budget, it's going to be the Montech Air 903 Max. So take a look at that case. You can't really get it very easily like on Amazon yet because it's a relatively newer case. And if you do, it takes forever to get here on Amazon or Newegg. But you will find it at Micro Center actually. And I think it's like 79 bucks at Micro Center, and it fits a 360mm AIO at the top. So you can mount a 360mm AIO on the top of that case. And it's got a mesh front, glass side panel, you know, all your standard stuff. And it also includes 3 140mm fans on the front, which is super cool. So this is that motherboard sync cable I was just talking about for this hub. And I'm going to shove in this hole so that we can plug the hub on the other side. To get these connections squared away. And I think the last thing we have is the, now that I think about it, is the streamer hub that we have to get plugged in. And I actually have a USB hub here for that too. These pins seem to have gotten bent by the previous builder. Slightly bent. Okay, fan 2, perfect. Oh, that's just perfect. How that all lined up there. That's ASUS for you though. The boards are well thought out. That's all I can say. Crap. I need the connection off of this. This is a USB hub because we've got way too much USB going on here. Well, I got home. I got time to get it because I have to wait for my RMA. Oh yeah, that's a good point. But Micro Center, if you're nearby Micro Center, especially if you're talking to me, being in Lake Orion, you got to be somewhat nearby Micro Center. They have it there. Then the next case up would be the Lian Li Landcool 216. That would be kind of like the next case up from the Montech Air 903 Max. So you got that, and then you have the Lian Li Landcool 216, which also supports a 360mm radiator at the top. And then from there, if you want to go Corsair, then you're starting to talk about, I'm actually using a, you're in Lansing, holy crap. But willing to travel for a deal. That makes sense. Well, Micro Center is probably going to be your best bet then, for unless you find one online. Hold on, I gotta find this cable. Left it over here in the other case. This is a USB 2.0 hub, which if you're going to be running a ton of Corsair, you're going to want. It's by NZXT. It's one of the better USB 2.0 reliable hubs that you can run. And I recommend it if you are running anything Corsair or Lian Li, because most motherboards only have 2 USB 2.0 headers, and any of the splitters is not going to provide power. You're actually splitting the power that's coming off the board between 2 headers, and that will cause problems. So you need a hub with its own power connected to like a SATA power cable that will work. And that's what this is. This has its own dedicated power, and it splits the USB connection. So it gives data, but it also gets the, makes it so that all the hubs can plug into the back without, you know, all these extra cables. So it simplifies it in a way, at least the front side. So I recommend it if you're using Corsair or NZXT or Lian Li, any of those brands that use USB 2.0 to connect to their software, which most of them do. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is honestly just start getting the jeez. What can we do here? We can do the graphics card vertical mount. Get that in there. So we're gonna go vertical with the graphics card, and I have a universal mount that we could put in there. This is by Cooler Master. You gotta head out. Thanks for the recommendations. Been super helpful. No problem, man. Make sure you come and hang out next time we're live. Good chatting with you. Also, follow the Facebook or the Twitter, and you might be able to catch a picture of this thing when it's done. We'll see you around, man. So this bracket is super helpful because number one, it's beefy and it's going to hold the weight of that RTX 4090 while we go vertical. And it's universal, so it really can go into almost any case. And I really like using them in Lian Li cases because they fit almost perfectly. We're going to try to get this as low as we can get it, honestly. That is going to be our best option. Because the graphics card is massive. I gotta pull all these out. I don't remember exactly how big this is. Yeah. Let's get our PCIe 4.0 riser cable installed. Hey, it's just a box moving, man. Calm down, bro. Alright, and then I think I'm going to, I don't know if I have to put the card in first for this one. too. One thing I did not think about is this design. That kind of sucks. Might have to. Let me look at this other one. Might have to modify this bracket, and it's only because of Lian Li in this case is using a different method of mounting the stuff. So if you're going to be using this universal, I didn't know this about Lian Li, this case, but if you're going to be using a Cooler Master Universal Vertical card bracket, Cooler Master, it is not going to work natively with the Lian Li 011 Dynamic EVO XL or 011 EVO XL, whatever you want to call this thing. I'm going to have to drill 2 holes. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta drill this hole. Hey, we're back. Let's see if this this thing fits. With its new holes. Of course, it's not going to line up beautifully perfect. Why would it? I gotta make the hole. I gotta make the hole a little bit bigger. I'll be right back again. One more cut, I promise. This is it. When you have to modify your vertical bracket because it doesn't fit right. There we go. Fit beautifully. Now it fits. Nice. There we go. For the time, or the part that everybody's waiting for, the RTX 4090. This isn't just any RTX 4090, this is the ROG Strix RTX 4090. Because you need a behemoth card to go with a behemoth build, right? Peel all these peels now. Tons of peels on this card. I mean, look at that card. It is massive. It is one massive card, that's for sure. Okay. You're what? Riding a bunny? Oh, Barbie. Hmm. Beautiful. Alright, so now we flip it over and hope that the card doesn't fall out. I'm joking, of course. But we gotta finish up the backside, put the power supply in. Oh. Gosh, this thing's massive. Get some of these cables sorted out. All this good stuff. What? He bumped you. What happened? Oh, your shoe is muddy? Okay. Like, wear shoes. You'll be alright. Her shoe is muddy. Dog. Huh? Oh, well, she told me her shoe's muddy because the dog. Interesting. Oops. Bump the camera. Almost done with the backside, guys. Hold on. Then we can actually see this thing fired up. For the first time. Ever. Because Daddy's in here and dinner's in there. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's dinner time over here, and our dog Max is freaking out because I'm not in the kitchen eating dinner. He's not very patient as he's gotten older. And we'll just... Whew. Yeah. Hey Tuna, what's going on? Well, no luck. Now time to reinstall the game. I'd say yeah, give it a go, man. Sorry, I've been like face down focused on this build. Build's coming along. It's actually almost done if you want to see it. But it's very similar to your build actually, except not AMD. Or did we go Intel? I don't even remember anymore. I've built so many PCs I don't even remember. But sometimes I can't even remember my name. So. But other than that, the build's coming along. I had a static. Soda. Okay. No, you got the you got a job to do. And AMD. Nah, AMD. Yeah, you know, we're just building away. It's another one of these beasts. Regardless if it's Intel, AMD, still a beast. And holy shit, there's just so many cables in this one too. You'd think there'd be less with the daisy chain fans we use. Nope. You thought wrong, sir. You thought wrong. Okay, is that all of them? Holy SHIT. My Clo-Clo. Really? Oh no. Yeah. Hold on.
Oh, I like my din-din. I like it, din-din. I like my din-din.
You ate your din-din?
No.
Okay.
I like it, din-din.
You like your din-din? No.
I like it.
I don't know what you're telling me then. We do also have a screen that I'm going to be putting in this, but I'm not putting it into the PC right now because I gotta make sure everything else is good to go. So I'm going to fire this bad boy up and then I'll do the screen later. Hold on, Chloe. Crazy, you've built almost 650 PCs this year? Yeah, tell me about it. Why do you think I can't remember what I built in yours? It's been getting busy. Then we hit that slow season, so it kind of slowed down. But it's usually how it works is the end of the year, near the holidays, is where you actually make up for almost half of your sales throughout the entire year. So, or builds, should I say. So I'm anticipating a very busy couple of months here, where I might actually be worried about what's coming. I will just do my best. That'll be all I can really do. Look at that. Okay. I remember dropping a screw down here when I was doing the vertical mount, and I just remembered I dropped that, and I don't see it anymore, so I hope it fell out. It was upside down. But I don't see a screw anywhere sitting here. Hey, what are you doing? Get back in there. Didn't say you can come out. Silly wires. Oh. Okay. Y'all ready to see this thing fired up? I sure as shit am. I'm done building this thing tonight. Hope or not, I'm tired. Building all day. Still have one more to tackle. One more to tackle. Okay. We have the power. I'm not gonna put the glass on. It's probably look good on the camera. It's probably gonna reflect a lot of this light because there's gonna be so much light. Might be time to move the operation somewhere where you can hire some help. I know. We'll see how crazy it gets this week or this upcoming month. That's going to determine that, my friend. Oh. Nice. Don't really want to zoom out, but don't really have a choice. It's too massive. Okay. So let me know if y'all are ready for me to fire this bad boy up so we can take a look at it. I always love those Infinity fans. They're just so RGB-y. So much RGB. I don't know how I feel about the card. It looks like it's just floating. Well, it was an HDR issue. That's still weird though. Like, the game clearly supports HDR. Oh, so you shut off HDR and it works? Yeah, simple as that. That's crazy, man. That is kind of crazy. So we do have a post. We're at the BIOS. We already knew the motherboard and CPU combo did work because it came out of his other system. So we already knew that. Now the thing we might be running into is old BIOS settings on new hardware, but I guess I mean we did go with new RAM. So we will have to do a BIOS update here, probably reset the BIOS. I'm sure the BIOS has not been updated since he ever. Actually, probably. Yeah, simple as that. Well, I'm glad to hear it's not something else. But sucks that that is the case. HDR. What do you think of this bad boy? Too much RGB? Wasted all the time reinstalling drivers, oh well. Well, I mean, look at it this way. At least you know now, at this time, you have fresh drivers installed. So if something else comes up, you can already eliminate that. And you know it's fresh, and you know it'll work. Should work. It's usually the best way to do a driver installation anyways, just go through. That is a lot of RGB, I know. He's got the streamers. I mean, the camera is like right here. The camera's not doing a very good job. I'll try to zoom in and see if it will refocus here. I'll actually shut the autofocus off and try to fix this. But I mean, the RGB, he's got the Lian Li streamer for the 16 pin and the 24 pin here, and they're kind of just swooped over each other like so. Whoop. So it makes this big blob of light in the middle. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan for the streamers. I like some clean cables. Just regular cables, you know? You feel like you're looking at this. Well, wear your sunglasses. You know, that's probably a cool idea. I should just get sunglasses. So when we build a super RGB build, I just put sunglasses on. Get the RGB glasses. RGB overload! But I got a lot of work to do still on this PC tonight, and I still have, for some reason this guy didn't want to spin up. We might have a damaged fan. Hey, look at my body. Hey, take a look at my back. How was that? So we actually might have a damaged fan on the bottom. Keeps starting and shutting off. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Keep an eye on it. Good thing I have 10 more of these fans sitting here. Literally. I got a stack of these 140s because I ordered this set for this build. The shipment got lost, so then I called them and I'm like, hasn't showed up yet, and I need these. So then they resent me another box, and then the other box still showed up. So then I have double of what I ordered, and then I was trying to send them back, and I haven't dealt with that yet, so we'll see what we have to do. But I've got them here. I need this card to go like that. It keeps trying to push forward. That's the mount that's doing that. I will have to look at situating that. But I mean, it's not bad. It's just purely cosmetic. It's not 100% perfect. And I'm freak about that. At least they didn't show up at my house again. Oh yeah, that's definitely a bonus. I do remember that. Oh. Hey, order. That's what I do when I need parts. I just order. and it's such a automated process that it's like basically one click to order parts. And if I don't change, if I made a change to the address and I don't go back and change it, I've accidentally sent a lot more shit than I sent you to somebody else before. I've done that a couple of times now. I've got to just create a separate account for shipping other stuff. I think that's the solution there. Because that mistake is too stupid to make. Too stupid easy. Yeah, this thing turned out really nice. I like it. I like the look. This is the first time I've ever built in the O11 EVO XL. So this is actually technically big brother to your case. And it is literally almost, I'd say, anywhere from 25% to 30% bigger than your case. But it is the EVO. Yeah, I do remember we put your build in an EVO, but this is the EVO XL. And I do have this really cool screen that we're going to put down at the bottom. I'm thinking we're either going to go vertical behind the card here or go horizontal underneath the card, and it's going to look really dope. But I don't think it's going to be very noticeable if we go horizontal underneath the card, because the card kind of takes the show there. So I think we're going to put it towards the front. Vertical. My case is big enough, I can't imagine how. Oh, they make bigger ones than this too. There's bigger cases. In fact, the person that we're building for right here, this build, he actually purchased a just this massive, that's bigger than this, massive Asus ROG Strix case that nobody ever buys because it's just stupid. It's stupid expensive and stupid big. And we went back and forth on it, and I was like, yeah, we could do the build, that's fine. And I'm just, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing's just massive. I don't know. I mean, do we even have the cable? Do we even have long enough cables for the power supply? I mean, it's so big, you might need extensions. But he ended up taking it back, and I talked him into this case. He really liked the dual glass with the dual intake option. So we have intake on the side and intake on the bottom. He really liked that, whereas the other case we weren't really going to have all of that feature. So ended up with this bad boy, and it was the first time I've ever actually built into it, and it was actually a pretty good pleasure. I did learn one thing very particular about this case, which kind of sucks. I had to actually manually drill my holes for mounting the vertical bracket because the vertical bracket did not fit this case perfectly. There is an error there for Cooler Master's universal to all cases, unless it's this case. It's the only case that I've ever ran into this issue with. So Lian Li took the universal right out of that and said, no, we're gonna change up that PCIe mounting system to our own. Will be different. So just a heads up for anybody that is building in this case and you're going with a Cooler Master vertical GPU mount kit, it's not going to fit. You're going to have to drill your own holes to make it fit. And I did have to do that, which sucked earlier on the stream. Everybody was just staring at the PC doing nothing while I was out drilling holes. Either way, guys, I'm done for the night. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Be sure to catch the next stream. We do have a dual PC build coming up here, so we're going to be building 2 PCs in one stream, which is probably going to be Monday. So looking forward to that build. Yeah, Tuna, hit me up if you still have any issues there. Just feel free to reach out. But I'm bouncing for the night. Also, hey, really quick, if anybody is into RTS games and wants to learn what bar is, follow the channel, because I've been doing some, we call it lobster game coverage, but it's basically some high-end player coverage, game coverage of bar Beyond All Reason, which is a real-time strategy RTS game. Super cool, and it's free if you wanted to try it. I'm happy to get you in the Discord channel, and we can train you up and show you how to play. So if anybody's interested in an RTS, that's currently free and on its way to Steam. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time on Monday. Don't know what time Monday, but sometime on Monday. Have a good night, guys.